Yes, everybody, what's going on? It's Stephen Howson, and this is Transfer Talk. Now, there has not been a whole lot of news about transfers at the moment, but that's to be expected, isn't it? We've had wall-to-wall, 3-4 matches a day with the World Cup. We've had it going absolutely mental. And do you know what? It's been mint and all, apart from yesterday, where the level sort of chopped down a little bit, didn't it? And then we ended up with the bit of a mess that we had with the England game. But do you know what? The World Cup has been absolutely banging so far, and because it's been banging so far, because it's been no aggro, there's nothing else for people to write about apart from how good the football is, which means transfer news is thin on the ground, and there's also a lot of players on holiday. There's also a lot of players that aren't dealing with anything, and obviously there's loads at the World Cup. So we've got some to talk about today. The first one we're going to talk about then is Skriniar, that way. So Skriniar, Inter Milan centre-half, been linked with United quite heavily at the moment, and I think this is a deal that might come off. It's worth keeping an eye on with this one. Like I said, I didn't watch a whole lot of him. I've been watching more of him this week as I'm trying to get my head around what he's like as a player, and whether or not I think he can go with us. My gut feeling is we are also linked with another defender in Milan, and that is Bonucci, and I would rather have Bonucci than this guy. I think we've got a lot of young defenders, a hell of a lot of young defenders, in the first team as well as in the academy that are coming through. And this guy, just another one of those players. That's why, for me, he's got to be further down that list. The same with Longley. I think Longley's a hell of a footballer, but he's a young footballer. And I don't want another young footballer. United need characters. If we're going to start winning stuff, if we're going to get us over the line, we need people that can go and push and can go and win for us. And that's not what I think these young players are offering. Someone like a Bonucci, yes, I know he's slow. Yes, I know he's old. He's not even that old in the grand scheme of things. That's the sort of absolute dark arts winner that we need. An horrible bastard, a soldier at the back. And I don't get that out of Skriniar, to be honest with you. And I don't get that out of Longley. They're very good defenders. They're very capable and technical. I don't even really get this out of Alderweireld, but he's a hell of a lot more experienced than the rest of them. So there's probably going to be sides to his game that you don't really notice. So for me, Skriniar's, he's not the one. I'm going to come to the comments as well with you guys. So if you've got any questions, bang your questions in, and I'll be answering them as soon as I get the opportunity. But give it a share and give it a like as well, because that helps it get seen. The next one that we're going to be talking about then is, I'm sorry, I had to do it. I didn't want to do it, but we've got to do it, haven't we? Cristiano Ronaldo. Now, look at his stats there. They're absolutely sick, aren't they? 40 games. 41 goals. This is a guy that's meant to be slowing down at some point. Now, the news that sort of came out yesterday, ESPN was running with it, and they said that his release clause has been reduced from 1 billion to 120 million, right? He's not coming United. Let's just get that out of our heads. But in the article, it also says that that reduced release fee is not available to Paris Saint-Germain or Barcelona. It's the weirdest, like, I can't imagine this is true. If it's true, there's no way that Ed Woodward has not gone, I'll pay that money. Because 120 million in euros as well, by the way, is absolutely nothing. Absolutely nothing in the grand scheme of things for a player like Ronaldo, who you're going to make commercial deals on the back of. I mean, even just from talking from a pure commercial side, Ronaldo for 120 million euros, what's that, 90 million quid? Makes all the sense in the world. Forget what he can offer as a player. I mean, look what he's offered there. 41 goals. Lukaku, I think, is going to thrive if he gets a partner. I see a lot of people moving to either 4-4-2 or 3-5-2 this season. I'd love United to be one of the teams that does that, because we've got the firepower up front to do that. Can you imagine Lukaku with Ronaldo? It's not happening. I'm not getting excited about it. I'm just saying. Just imagine. That's the sort of deal that would make sense on every level. Commercially, it makes sense. I don't care how old he is. The guy's got the biological age of 23. There's about 22 years left in him. Forget about that. He would make sense right now for us. If you want leaders, Ronaldo's a leader. If you've got Bonucci and you've got Ronaldo, a couple of old heads like that, United would be a different proposition going into next season. I don't think it's going to happen whatsoever, because I think that the report is utter bollocks. Because if it wasn't utter bollocks, United, you wouldn't be hearing about it in the news. You'd be seeing United have just signed Ronaldo for 120 million because for some reason his release fee went down to an absolutely ludicrous amount. What's the point in having a release fee of $1 billion and then letting guys go for 1/10 of that? That makes no sense to anybody whatsoever. Why would you do that? That makes no sense. What do you guys reckon in the comments? About 105 million, says Ryan. Jose bought Lindelof and Bayer, but he hardly ever uses them because he wants ready-made players. Well, that makes no sense to you, mate. If he bought those players, it proves he doesn't necessarily want ready-made players. I think there was injury problems and there was some other concerns with those players. I think that's a bit of a reaching statement, to be honest. Fellaini signs mean Herrera is leaving. I'm going to get to Fellaini in a minute. I need those classic Beckham boots behind you. How much do I want for them? These have been worn once. They're a size... They're a size 4 UK, so they're a bit small, so they're probably not going to fit you, mate. But I bought these Jaden for his birthday, so I can't sell them you. And he wore them once, and then I found out you're not allowed to wear blades anymore. Because I'm a cool dad and I'm buying retro boots like that. So I can't sell them you, mate. But they look good on the set, don't they? How's it going, says Brandon. It's going well. Fellaini did a pirouette yesterday. If we played 4-4-2, imagine Sanchez and Lukaku up top with Martial, Rashford on the left wing. I still think we need a proper winger, someone who's all about the creation, because Martial and Rashford, as good as they can be as forwards, they're not about the creation, they're about doing it for themselves. I take Ronnie back, but let's be real with ourselves. Yeah, that's the one, innit? Right, the next one that we're going to talk about then is one of the weirdest transfers that we're going to be dealing with, and that is this guy, and that's Grant from Stoke. So what the crack is here then? So it's probably the most bizarre transfer rumour you're going to hear all summer. Lee Grant, who couldn't do enough to take the #1 shirt from Jack Butland last season despite all his errors, is being linked with a move to United. 35-year-old played just 3 times in the Premier League last season for Stoke. He had a bit of a better season before then. He managed to get 28 games under his belt. If United want to move Romero on, I imagine this makes sense, because a backup goalkeeper, it's the easiest job in football, isn't it? Let's be honest. And a third choice goalkeeper, how often do you see a third choice goalkeeper getting pulled in the mix? I guess it's kind of sad that he couldn't trust one of the 18 or 19-year-old lads to say, do you know what? Be the third choice in case needed, because the second choice usually is adequate cover. It's a little bit grim, but you know, it's a third choice goalkeeper. I don't know how you can get excited about it either way, you know. Elliot in the comments says you can still wear blades. Kids can't, mate. Next one that we're going to talk about then is Milinkovic-Savic. Now, this guy has been doing all right at the World Cup. He's not had the great games. I've seen a lot of people slagging him off sometimes. He was played a bit deep. He's been a bit isolated. I think the problem is Mitrovic can't finish his dinner. If Mitrovic could finish, Savic would look better. I'm a firm believer in that. This Serbia team really lacked someone who could score goals. If they could score goals, they would be absolutely sick. So Lazio midfielder continually linked with a move to United. But it looked like it was never going to materialise while Serbia are in the World Cup. The media are saying that he needs time to recuperate after the competition, which is fair, I think, and then he's going to think about his future. There's clearly offers on the table. Juventus is another team that's linked. But he's also said he's happy at Juventus. Given a signing of Fred and a potential new contract to Fellaini, and we are getting into that in a bit, and a £100 million valuation, I don't think Savic to United this summer is anywhere near a possibility. So I'm going to strike that one off as probably not going to happen. What do you guys reckon? Bang it in the comments and let me know. So, Sessegnon. I really like Sessegnon. Now, a lot of people are going, oh, he's a left winger. Yeah, I mean, to be fair, a lot of his goals, a lot of his assists did come once he was played further forward. He's played left mid, he's played left wing back, he's played left back, played 16 games at left back this season. So don't tell me that he's not a full back. And he also obviously played on the left of a forward free for Fulham and did excellent there. And yes, the Championship is not the Premiership. You wouldn't expect the same sort of output, but this is still a very, very, very young player. And I'd have took him to the World Cup in all honesty. I think he could have had something to offer for that England side. But I think when you're Manchester United, and despite all of your preconceptions about how Jose Mourinho sets up, our left backs are attacking outlets, our full backs are attacking contributors. So I think somebody like a Ryan Sessegnon, who's clearly more favoured doing stuff with the ball and into that final third, but he's also got the ability to be a defender. Not the greatest defender in the world, sadly Maldini, but he is a good defender. He's got the grounding as a defender, which some of our defenders don't have. I think Ryan Sessegnon to United could be fantastic. So it's a little bit of an inevitable one, this one. It's been reported that Sessegnon is close to signing a new deal at Fulham. We thought that once they got promoted that he was probably going to stay. And do you know what? It's probably the best move for the guy. Rather widely reported that he was keen to stay there or stay in London was the word I was hearing, that pretty much he could have gone anywhere in the Premier League virtually. But his preference, being a twin as well, was to stay in London. So it makes no shocks to me. Makes no shocks. It's no shock to me whatsoever that Sessegnon is probably going to sign a new deal at Fulham. Have United missed out on that one? I don't know. You guys let me know in the comments, and we'll get into it. Let's talk about Fellaini then. So the word was, the word basically was Fellaini, he was moving out, he'd gone. Paris was the destination that everybody seemed to think, without being told directly that's where he was going, which made no sense to me. I don't think you look at that midfield at Paris and go, this needs Marouane Fellaini. I don't think that was the case in the slightest whatsoever. But there's been a U-turn. So clearly he couldn't get the money at Milan, he couldn't get the money anywhere else in Europe that he was looking for. Turkey was a move that was touted around a little bit. So United are re-signing him. Now, I've got to be honest with you, I don't want to see Fellaini at Manchester United. I was really happy to be seeing the back of him because it's not what he necessarily does as him as a footballer. It's what he represents. The last 5 years since we've signed Marouane Fellaini have not been great years. And he's not to blame for those 5 years. I just want to be clear on that. He's not to blame, but it's what he represents. United want to be moving towards being a team that's going to compete for the Premier League and compete for the Champions League. And I don't think a team with Marouane Fellaini in it does that. I think he's someone that would be very good at where he came from, like an Everton. But you're not going to be looking at, apart from Paris, because that one just didn't make sense. Look at the clubs that was interested in him or supposedly interested in him and eventually turned him down. Those clubs was going to be taking him as a first team player, first choice, probably one of their star players. And they still said, no, I'm not interested in paying the money that you want. United, we think he's going to be a plan B and we're happy to pay him star player at another club wages to be our plan B. What are we doing? That makes no sense to me. We have got, people say it was the cheaper option to just re-sign him. I'll tell you what the cheaper option is. Play Scott McTominay. Play Andreas Pereira before he goes and becomes a superstar elsewhere. Play Fosu Mensah. Play Matty Willock even. These are good technical footballers. Now, people say they want to see United play the United way. You're not going to play the United way with Marouane Fellaini. So you can blame Mourinho all you want for the style of play, but then you can't say you want Marouane Fellaini at the same time because this is not Manchester United football and it's not what I want to see. I don't want to be playing a guy I don't consider good enough to be at Manchester United, superstar money to be our plan B. Why can't we have another plan B? Why can't a plan B be somebody else? I think we're going to lose some good footballers this year. I wouldn't be shocked to see Juan Mata go, one of the most gifted footballers. Think about this. Do you want your team to play the way would suit Juan Mata, or do you want your team to play the way that would suit Marouane Fellaini? It's Mata for me. That's a joy to watch. You're probably going to be losing Anthony Martial. You're probably going to be losing Juan Mata, and Marouane Fellaini is kept around. That doesn't sit right to me. Now, regardless, I always say, if Jose wants to get rid of Paul Pogba because he's got the plan, and his plan is to bring this guy in or that guy in, I can live with that. If he says, do you know what, we're going to get rid of Mata and we're going to bring Willian in, I go, okay, I can see how this is going to work. I can't see how Marouane Fellaini improves us, and that is my major issue with him. Simple as that. Let's see what you guys are saying in the comments. Is the Fellaini thing official? His contract runs out tomorrow, so it will be official Sunday, I guess, if it's going to happen. Taking Fellaini back would be like dating our brother's ex after he picked her up after a mate, says Adel Wolf. Get Mata out, says David Healy. Don't really agree with that one. Most annoying thing is we're going to see better players leave, says McLaren. I think that is most people's major issue with it, to be honest, mate. Embarrassing, says keeping Fellaini, says Mould. Smudger says, need a fit non-African Cup Bay version 2. Yeah. We do need Bay fit. That'd be sorted. Club's going to be a laughingstock all summer, says Ryan. What does Mata actually bring to the team apart from a few nice touches? David, I think you really need to go and see the way Manchester United play football, or the way that Manchester United play when they play in good football. Mata moves the ball around. Look at his touch. Look at his vision. Look at his movement. He moves defenders around and he moves the ball around. I don't know what you're watching if you don't understand that Juan Mata's a great footballer. I really don't. Mata doesn't suit Mourinho. I could agree with that, to be honest. I could agree with that. And that's why I think if he was saying, I'm going to go with Willian, someone I've worked with, it's not the most superstar signing, but Willian is, he's a clear hard worker and he's obviously a talented footballer as well. When it's Mourinho saying, Mourinho likes to go with players that he trusts, I get that. Somehow he trusts Marouane Fellaini, I don't get that. But when it's like Matic, you go, okay, I get it. It's not the biggest star, the most exciting signing in the world, but I get it. I know he's worked with him and I know he's a good player. Willian, okay, I get it. I know he's worked with him and I know he's a good player. These are ones that make sense. Fellaini doesn't make sense to me. Mata isn't direct enough. He's too safe with his play. I don't agree with that. Mata is a great footballer if only he had pace. I think he is slow. He's slow running, but you know, Teddy Sheringham was slow, and he was in one of the fastest United sides ever. Henderson isn't on my outs. I need to update that. Games like Europa Final is what we can expect of him. The thing is, you've got a great target man in Romelu Lukaku. You don't need to just be going to Fellaini for this sort of stuff. Someone like Lukaku can do that job in a team, and that's why I would like to see him played in a partnership, because he can drop off into those channels and win those balls, and then he can provide for other people because he's a fucking good footballer, and that's the difference. Fellaini can control it, but he doesn't have the ability to then move it forward or do anything imaginative when he's in a dangerous place with it. He's not fucking good enough. It's simple as that. He's got the best chest in world football. He can pluck it out of the air like it's made of Velcro. But then his ability on the ball with his feet is just not good enough. And he causes chaos in the box. Yeah, I get that. But he causes chaos in our box as well, and that's dangerous. You're only as good as the weakest player in the team. And that's the problem. We're not going to win a title with Marouane Fellaini. Nadine, we really need to figure out which formation we're going to play. We've got many decent players. You can't fit most of them into one formation. There must be a clean out, even if we like them. Yeah, I agree on that one. And I think that's probably why you're going to see the likes of Mata moved on, and potentially even under Herrera as well, because with Fred coming, with Fellaini being kept around, I'm not really sure where Herrera fits in. And again, Herrera for me is a better footballer than Marouane Fellaini. You've got to be looking at going, does this signing improve us or weaken us? I don't think Marouane Fellaini staying around improves Manchester United. It's my opinion. You're more than welcome to yours. Right then, so yes, I am sitting here wearing a Studio 68 shirt, and you're going, what are you wearing that for? Well, Studio 68, which is mine and Dave's little baby, we are off to play in the Sportsman World Cup, which is clearly more important than a World Cup, and only slightly less important than a World Cup of beers. You can follow that journey today on my Facebook page. The link is in the description below. Or if you come and follow me on Instagram, I'll be putting all my stories on Instagram throughout the day as well. So it's a five-a-side tournament. We're playing against City Watch, which is a City channel. So that's the first game that we're playing in, so you know we want to fucking win that one. We're playing against XS Manchester, the Sportsman, Sporf are playing in it, and even Salford City are playing in it. So me and the boys are going to take it. It's coming home. This is the only time that you'll see those things coming out of my mouth. We're absolutely having it today. But thank you guys for watching. Come and follow me on Instagram and check out the stories. And I will see you guys over there. And I'll be back probably on Sunday, if not tomorrow, with another episode of Meat Pie. Thank you guys for watching. Subscribe if you're new. And I'll see you in the next one. Laters. Welcome to the Stephen Howson Football Channel. This is where I will take you through everything that I do revolving around football, be it that at Old Trafford or elsewhere. This is where you will get your match previews, your reviews, your football vlogs, your scout reports, your transfer talk, your youth reviews, your documentaries, and anything and everything revolving around football. I absolutely love this game. Do me a favour and subscribe. Thank you for watching.